Hey, that was a weird. I feel like singing today. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with day 797 of the What's She Up To Now, I guess, journey, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. I actually spent 47 years running my own businesses so far, and 25 plus of that was also simultaneously being a corporate executive, working for some of the biggest corporations in the world. And throughout all that, I learned a lot. And a few years ago, I had the opportunity to transition, make a massive transition. And I'd always been curious about the online world and what you could do on the internet. And so I hopped in and started learning and applying and doing things online. And my original goal is and I'm not done yet, which is why I'm on day 797 of documenting that journey, to duplicate my offline success online. Now, I've done things online that I never did offline. And so if I look at that, some ways I've surpassed what I did offline, but as far as financial success offline, the things that I was able to do there, I have not replicated online. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going until I do that. And guess what? After I do that, I'll probably have another goal that I'll keep moving toward. Right now, during this time of chaos and really weird stuff going on in our world and in all of our lives, I am doing a 30-day GG&G, I call it, which is get up and go. I guess it should be GU&G, right? I just thought of that as I've been calling it the GG&G challenge. That's pretty funny. It's get up and go. But I'm doing a get up and go 30-day challenge that helps people, not everybody, primarily business owners, because that's who I work with the most, but people who are struggling and not sure what to do right now, how to make sure that they are better off on April 30th than they were on April 1st. I started at April 1st. And whatever it is that's going to come next, because we're uncertain, right? We don't know for sure 100% what's going to come next. Some people might think they do, but for the vast majority of us, the world does not know what it's going to look like in 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 90 days from now. Now, the truth is, we never did, right? We never have. But we had a little bit more certainty than we have right now. And so it feels different. It feels more up in the air. But that's why it's critical for each and every one of us to map out and plan what we're doing with this time, what we're doing with this time that we're down, to ensure that we are better off. And it's not that hard. We can do one thing every day, one kind of small thing every day, to make sure that we're moving forward, and we will be prepared for whatever the heck comes next, no matter what it is. And those are things that we should pretty much be doing our whole life, but most of us aren't, right? We're busy running around doing the things that we always do, and we don't make the time for the things that are really important, that are really, really important, like mapping out what we really want our life to be. So this is our time and our opportunity to do that. So today is day 4 of the challenge. We're actually doing an exercise that I learned from Dean Graziosi, and I learned a different version of this years and years ago, decades ago, and it's asking yourself a series of why questions to get to the true motivating factor, the true reason, the core reason that you want to do or want to have or want to be anything. And so we're going to be going through that exercise. I've always learned it as the 5 whys, but went through the exercise with Dean Graziosi and found that by adding those 2 more whys, you go so much deeper, and you are so much more committed and so much more bought into whatever it is that you want, that you're almost guaranteed to succeed, as long as you keep that in mind. Because we're always going to be challenged, no matter what we believe that we want. There's always going to be obstacles and challenges, not unlike the COVID-19 virus, that pop up and test us and see if we're really serious about it. More business owners and more people are being tested right now than ever in history that I'm aware of, as to, were they serious about what it was that they were doing? You know, I think 10 million people lost their jobs in 2 weeks in the United States alone. 10 million people are now looking at, was what I was doing, is that really what I should be doing and what I want to be doing as I get the opportunity to go back to doing that thing? I think you're going to see massive changes in this country. I think you're going to see a lot of manufacturing come back to the United States, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really good thing. Now, it might be because I love manufacturing, and I have a huge manufacturing background, and I love manufacturing and seeing things be made and creative, and I'm delighted that those things will be coming back to America. I think that it will provide more stability and more more good jobs for people than we've had lately. I think as we've gone through this information age and now the internet age and things, I think that a lot of people have gotten forced into things like the service industry, which thank goodness, you know, a lot of things in the service industry are still rolling. They're not rolling like they were a couple of weeks ago, but they're still moving a little bit. And those businesses, like the drive-through restaurants and things that have still some people working for them and some people are moving through, and they're still providing a great service because we get to eat. Some of us that need to be able to go get food sometimes and just don't want to make it all on our own. Although I cook all the time. I love to cook. It's one of my creative stress-reducing outlets. But those are the businesses that will be here when everything shakes out, right? Because they continue to be in contact with and continue to be of service and of value to people, right? So we want to be looking for ways to be of value to people. And one of the ways I can be of value to people is by helping them through this transition period, this process. Is it hard? Is it painful? Personally, on a personal experience level? It doesn't have to be, but for a lot of people it is, because they've been going down this path and all of a sudden it was dead stopped. And I guess I'm getting to do it and can lead people through it because it happened to me 10 years ago. I had a sudden cardiac arrest and dropped dead. I went from running, like I think we had 6 or 7 different businesses, my ex-husband and I at the time, running through my life with teenage kids and all their activities to a absolute positive dead stop. And I had to reevaluate when I, woke up from the coma. What was I going to do? What was my life really going to be like? Because obviously what I'd been doing wasn't working for me. And so now there's, millions of people in that same position right now. And if I can help even a couple of them transition through that process faster and easier than I did, because it actually literally took me years to make that transition. If I can help people do that in 30 days, if I can help anybody do that, then it's worth doing, even if I had the initials to it wrong. Get Up and Go, GG&G. That's hilarious. Because I've been noting in my notebook, every day I note down, I put GG&G. So now I have to change it right this minute to G Up, GU&G. That's funny. Gug. We can call it the Gug Challenge. Anyway, we're not going to gug anything. So I'm thinking about the Get Up and Go challenge, and that why exercise was really powerful. I actually ran through a bunch of scenarios this morning so that I can share them when I do that video next. Or I might wait till later in the day and do it live, see if we can get some more people on it live. But doing that, tying up some loose ends, as a lot of us are doing with respect to things that I was doing in my life before that are coming to an end. My divorce and all that is finally coming to an end, so I need to tie up some loose ends with that. People that have never done their taxes actually have time to do their taxes now. What else is going on? Forgot what I was thinking about. So doing that, doing projects and things around the house that I've wanted to do for a long time. I'm cleaning my basement, and for 1 hour a day, I'm making myself work on and clean my basement. Now, I wish I could get to and from my storage unit, because I know I could knock that out in 30 days too, but that's not going to happen. Since I'm not driving these days, I can't get to and from my storage unit. I just use the word can't, and I don't say can't very often. But since I do not drive anymore, I'm not going to take an Uber or get somebody to drive me to my storage unit every day for 30 days. I'll do what I can do at home, in the basement, working on all that stuff. So find things that you can do, find things that make you feel good. If I can help you in any way, just ask, hit me up in the comments below. Ask, if you're, whatever your situation, ask, I might not know the answer, but I probably can set you in the direction of somebody that does. I invite you to join the Get Up and Go Challenge. It's on a Facebook page called Get Up and Go. You can just search it. I don't have the address handy with me. And I'm doing that live every day. I have not committed to a time to do that every day since I've got my 4-year-old granddaughter. Once she is here, I would love to do it at a time that most people would be available live, but that doesn't necessarily work with a 4-year-old. I just finished a live challenge workshop that was 10 days long, and I think 2 or 3 of those days you've got a little voice in the background talking to me through part of the video. Is that ideal? No. Is it what it is to still move forward and get things done? Absolutely. Does it wreck the video? No. I personally think it's kind of funny. Grandma, da-da-da. It's pretty, it just is what it is. And so we do what we can with what we've got right now. That's the focus right now. And be looking forward to, how can I make sure that I come out of this better than I entered into it? Now, if you're like my daughter and you've lost your job and you're kind of freaking out about money and things, maybe you don't feel like you're going to be able to come out of this better, but I guarantee that each and every one of us will come out of this, if we choose to, better than when we entered into it. If we're looking for the ways to make it work for us. That's it. That's all I've got today. Have an absolutely amazing day. Again, if I can help you in any way, just ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Bye.